into Evans Terminal. Local officials just started providing an update into this investigation. Let's listen in live.
Custody by the Wayne County Airport police officers. The incident also resulted in a brief disruption of our normal operations. Airport Authority police, fire, special services, and security, along with our maintenance department, responded to this particular incident in collaborations with TSA and the FBI. Our police officers were on scene within 72 seconds of the incident. Just to give you a little brief timeline, at approximately 9:41 a.m., the driver was taken into custody by our police department. One customer sustained a possible minor injury when she tried to avoid the incident or avoid the vehicle and had a pain in her leg. She refused treatment and transport and later went on to her flight to her destination. A search of the area, which was conducted by our Explosive Ordnance Division and our canines, swept the area, and it resulted in negative results. Rogel Drive leading to the area of the terminal was temporarily shut down as a result of the incident. At approximately 9:58 a.m., we had what we call a Code 99, which is a breach of security where a passenger went through a checkpoint without being properly screened. The police department apprehended that ticketed passenger very quickly and determined that the passenger was startled by the car coming through the terminal, dropped all of his baggage and luggage right there at the vehicle, and then went into the checkpoint. After being interviewed by the police department, it was quickly revealed that he was simply startled and tried to get away from the situation. Investigators determined that the ticketed passenger was just trying to get away and that he was released without receiving a citation. At approximately 10:43 a.m., TSA began to open up our Bluetooth checkpoint to screen passengers. At approximately 10:49 a.m., the individual involved in the checkpoint breach was released, as I said, without the incident. At approximately 10:58 a.m., Rogel Drive was reopened and cars were allowed to continue to go forward. Both the Evans terminal checkpoints reopened and normal operations resumed at 11:31 a.m. Our subject is approximately 67-year-old male. He made the statement upon being apprehended that he was there to meet with Tom Cruise and to save his dad. He was the only person in the vehicle at the time. The driver did have access. He gained access through what I call gaps in our Jersey barriers, which is a federal requirement for ADA, and that is how he got into the system. He drove through very slowly through those gaps, and he drove through the door at a slow rate of speed. A more permanent solution is in play through our design and construction crew, which are working on a permanent bollard system that would eliminate this type of situation. And they also are reviewing the federal requirements for ADA to determine how wide the gap has to be, and if there's anything that we can do to secure that area even better than what it was. That is the incident. I'll open myself to questions at this time. This is an active investigation, so there are some things I will not be able to talk about. It's a very active and fluid investigation, and we are working hand in glove with the FBI on this incident.
Was the item placed on the license plate? Was that there already, or did the police place that to cover the license plate? And do you have any idea what it was for?
I'm not exactly sure on that particular incident, so I can't speak to that right now.
Was the driver armed at all? There was some chatter that the driver had a firearm on his person in the vehicle.
To my knowledge, no firearm has been discovered or any other weapon had been discovered.
Given what he said, did he seem agitated and otherwise not in his right mind?
He seemed very disoriented, specifically by the statement that he made.
So he said that he wanted to pick up Tom Hanks and Tom Hanks' dad? Or Tom Cruise?
Tom Cruise. He was there because Tom Cruise's dad was flying in. Tom Cruise was flying in, and he wanted to save his dad. That's the statement that he made, and it's hard for me to put semblance behind that. I just wanted to throw that out there, that that was the statement that he made, which could possibly indicate what his situation may be.
So we don't know if he's talking about Tom Cruise's dad or his own dad.
That is correct.
You said approximately 67. Do you have like a area of residence and a specific age, or the approximate is confusing?
Yep, he's 67, and at this particular point in time, based upon the active investigation and the gentleman not being charged, we're not releasing that information at this time.
So you're not saying where he's from?
That's correct.
Can you clarify in the evacuations specifically? Because I talked to some workers at a Starbucks who were evacuated. Was that because of the man who breached in fear of, what was happening, or was that because of the vehicle? Or can you take us a little deeper in regard to the evacuation?
Sure. I would like to say, based upon this particular incident, there was not an evacuation. There was discussion of evacuation. There were police did move some people from the secure side to the public side, but there was not an official evacuation of the terminal. That was based upon consultation with the Federal Security Director of TSA and myself.
Were flights impacted? Any canceled?
No. We never lost operations. The terminal did not close. We did have a disruption, but operations continued to occur.
You talked about gaps in the Jersey barriers following January's incident. What specific security enhancements were put in place? I know there were the Jersey barriers, but what went wrong here that didn't prevent this from happening? It's happening again.
Yes, what occurred, it did not happen again. This is the first time. And the reason why I say it's the first time, because what happened in January was totally different than what happened here in May. What happened in January, we had an individual that drove at a high rate of speed that crashed through the front door. Here we had an individual who drove the wrong way on Rogale Drive at a slow rate of speed, and that went through the gaps because of federal ADA requirements. And his vehicle was small enough to get through those particular gaps, and that he had to position himself in order to go through the front door. And as he went through the door, he went through at a much slower speed. There's indications that perhaps the person is disoriented, but he is being interviewed as we speak, so I don't have a lot more to offer you. I just wanted to make sure that you had this information as much as possible.
This question is not meant as a criticism. What do you take from this? Meaning, the Disabilities Act requires this gap that he then utilized, and obviously it's a susceptible point then, or and the other, if you could, I mean, he ends up going straight. If he turns right, we got a lot different story here.
I'm not exactly sure about straight or right.
Meaning his vehicle looked like it went straight through the doors here, while I'm assuming he had people at the TSA checkout and/or at the airline counters. I'm just interested in your thought in regard to, obviously, I don't mean to emphasize the negative, but what could have happened here could have been extremely tragic.
Right. I don't want to speculate on what could have happened, but I'm here to tell you what did happen, and that there were no injuries. There were no injuries involved. You asked me about the ADA requirements. We support the ADA requirements. There's a reason why they're federal requirements. What we're examining is what we can do with those requirements currently that we have now on a temporary basis to strengthen or harden our structure. But from a permanent fix, we think that that would not be an issue based upon the type of secure system that we will be going to. I'm sorry, there's a question over here that I'll come back to. Yes, ma'am.
So did it appear that
I'm sorry.
he braked once he hit something, or hitting the doors was what stopped him? And how far did he get into the terminal?
All right, once he got to the doors, he was at an angle, if I can say that, and he had to position his vehicle to get straight so that he could enter straight through the door. As he drove through the door, he actually stopped his own car by using his brakes before he got to the exit lane.
So you don't think he, just based on the circumstances, had any intention to hurt anyone? It more seems like he was on his own mission.
Based upon if he was involved in a mental health crisis, it's hard to speculate of what's going on in a person's mind. So right now, at this particular point in time, I can't answer that.
How long will it take you all to review the ADA stuff that you have right now to see if you can change it to make things more safe?
That wouldn't be a security standpoint. That would be our construction and design folk, and I've already been in talks with them this morning. So they are beginning to review that as we speak. Yes, sir.
So have you had a chance to review the video? From
Yes,
the
I have.
cameras? Is he approaching from the south then? Is that my understanding? And then turned into the terminal?
If-
or did he, because the traffic flows.
The traffic flows to the south. He was actually going north. So he was going the wrong way. That is correct. At a slow rate, at a moderate to slow rate of speed.
Right. But when I was out there earlier, the Jersey barrier on the north side of the door, that gap was, I paced at least 5 paces, which is about 15 feet. Are you saying that large of a gap is required by the ADA?
What I'm saying is that the gap that we have now is my understanding is required by ADA, and that's what we are under the process of reviewing.
Randy had a question back here.
I'm sorry, Randy.
Were there any officers on that departures level of the Evans terminal that, because normally there are at times officers there that perhaps could have intercepted the driver before he made it into the terminal?
I'm not exactly sure if our officers are going to intercept a moving vehicle. However, there were officers on the secure side, and that is the reason why they were able to respond within the 72 seconds.
And one more quick question. And this goes to what one of the other colleagues mentioned here earlier. It appeared that there was an attempt to cover the license plate. Hence, there was something covering one of the numbers on the plate. Do you know if that was any sort of rhyme or reason to that?
I'm not sure of that, so I cannot speak to that.
Can you go back, please, to his direction, just to be clear on that? Meaning, as one travels south, you kind of bend back around, so he made that whole loop and came up from the wrong direction?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
When you say that there were no injuries reported, does that include the driver himself?
Yes, sir. That is my understanding. Just the one possible injury to the lady who tried to avoid the vehicle, who complained of the minor pain in their leg.
So do medics or?
Yes,
paramedics check
our fire department, our paramedics, they did respond to the scene. She did refuse treatment, and she did refuse transport, and she continued on to her destination.
And did they also examine the driver when he was taken into custody?
I believe so, yes.
Can you talk about charges that this guy is facing?
Charges will refer to the Wayne County Prosecutor's Office. We will write up a package. We will request charges, and we will send that over to the Wayne County Prosecutor's Office.
This is not a
I've-
federal jurisdiction?
Obviously, they know that. Obviously, they would authorize what they see fit for them to do that.
Sorry
Yes,
for
sir.
the interruption.
No, that's the problem.
This is not a federal jurisdiction, being an airport?
It is not. It is our jurisdiction at this point. We are working hand in glove with the FBI. Obviously, the FBI, one of their primary responsibilities is terrorism. And so we probably will be sending it over to the prosecutor's office.
I don't mean to be half empty on the glass with this. Now that you've been able to digest it, what are you happy with? What are you concerned about following this incident?
Two things. What I'm happy with, number one, and I'm always happy in situations such as this, no one got injured. To me, that's a blessing. Things that we still have to reevaluate is our system and how fast can we get a system in which will be a permanent fix to what we have, because what we have now is not the permanent fix, and we meet every Wednesday, if I'm not mistaken, on our permanent fix. But so it is coming.
Again, I don't mean to be sitting here in judgment, because you guys and law enforcement in general are always up against it. Always have to be perfect. It's an impossible bar. But my question does center around a vehicle traveling in the wrong direction. and the ability to maybe, as some others mentioned, intercept it. Hypothetically, should that vehicle have never even made it to the terminal?
Hypothetically, could be. However, our police cannot be everywhere at the exact same time. So this incident occurred in a matter of seconds. Yes, sir.
I don't mean to belabor this point on the direction of travel, but I'm trying to describe it for readers. So he's coming north in the southbound lanes. Did he pass the door and then turn back so as to enter from the north, or did he come in, at an angle from that side? Because there were two gaps that I saw. One was on the south end of the Jersey barriers. The other was on the north. Do you know which one of those gaps he used?
I'm not exactly sure which one, but he did pass the door, and when he went through, he had to make a U-turn on the sidewalk to go back to the door. And that's why he had to reposition his vehicle so that he was head on.
So he had presence of mind to back up and turn and stop and
I'm
start
not,
again.
I can't speak to his mind at this particular point in time.
But he clearly made multiple maneuvers to get there.
That is a fact.
SVP Tracy has a question back here.
I'm sorry.
How many entrances would you have to do a redesign, or just this one?
No, we would redesign both the terminals, the McNamara and the Evans terminal. So you have 4 doors on arrival and 4 doors on departure. Departure level is up top, and that's where this incident took place.
Will more officers be added to the terminal in the meantime?
I'm sorry?
Will more police officers be added since it was like a 72-second?
That has already happened, and so we will do that, and it's already been done.
Forgive the redundancy, just to
Yes, sir.
revisit and be clear, from what you know, and it sounds like there may be mental health issues involved, obviously, in the Tom Cruise thing you mentioned. Did he say at all why he had to drive, or why he thought he had to drive the vehicle into the building?
Active investigation, and we don't want to get into that much detail at this particular point in time.
Has he said, but you guys just don't want to share yet, or? I'm trying to slice it a little closer, forgive me.
Sure.
Do you guys have an idea, or has he shared with you what he was thinking he was doing, and you just want to withhold that for now, or has he not said?
To my knowledge, he's still being interviewed as we speak, so I've not had an opportunity to debrief with the investigators. The interview that he's under is still being happening.
Thank you.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Do you know when the video from those security cameras might be available?
I will not know, but obviously I think there's probably 4 years. But right now, active investigation. We obviously want to consult with our prosecutor and make sure that we have all of our things necessary to present a case to the prosecutor's office.
Can you share where he is now?
He's being interviewed, and so he is probably someplace in this building.
He's on the premises?
Yes, that is correct.
Tracy has a question, and we're going to wrap it up after this.
Okay, thank you.
Just to clarify, he breached the doors, then backed up and turned his vehicle around. I just want to make sure I'm.
Let me try to clarify. I'm gonna kind of talk with my hands a little.
Yeah.
He actually went past the door,
Okay.
found a ADA requirement gap, drove through it, made a U-turn, came back to the door, then positioned his car so that he could drive straight through the door.
Huh.
I hope that helps a
sort of
little.
similar to how the car was pulled out? Almost the same, like, I guess the same
I
direction.
think so. I was not there to see how the car was pulled out. Okay.
Before you leave, could you please restate your name and spell it and full title?
Sure. It is Tadarial, Tadarial, last name Sturdivant, Sturdivant, Senior Vice President of Emergency and Support Services and Operations.
Thank you.
You're
Thank you
welcome.
so much for your time.
Thank you.